It is Blastin, Stashin, episode 227. Got some anticipated releases this week with Aliens #1. That's coming back to Marvel. And we've got Predator coming out here pretty soon as well. We don't know where the hell Mike is. I was actually lucky that I even showed up. I was like on the couch about ready to go to sleep, but I made the trek upstairs in front of the monitor to bring a show to Double S, since he's waiting in the chat. So thank you for always being that ever so diligent subscriber. So, and we got Legion of Comics in here too, and hashtag Mike is missing. I think I might put that on Facebook real quick with a link to our channel to promote it. I'm gonna do that hashtag Mike is missing. We were just talking in the off air about some shows that are going on. They're out, got released this week. We got Falcon and Winter Soldier got released last week. Episode 2 is out today. You were saying that Invincible.
Yeah, Invincible.
Yeah, came out. You want to give us a rundown on that? What are you thinking of that so far?
So a lot of people are going to boo me right now, but
boo.
I know. I picked up a couple of issues of Invincible here and there. It was just nothing I could really get into, mostly because, where I was and every, just being in the military, it's just really hard to get a comic book like that. So I didn't really know what I was in store for. And then I'm kind of watching it and I was like, oh, it's a superhero cartoon. And then like the dad superhero, like just crushes some dude's head and like there's brains, and then it gets like ultra violent all over the place, and I'm just like, oh yeah, this isn't for kids. This is like an adult cartoon. I really liked it. I thought it was smartly done. Seth Rogen being a producer, he's a producer and everything now. I thought the voice work in it was really good. The characters, I thought it was epically awesome. And even I was actually able to catch Winter Soldier right before we came on here too. I thought that was good too. I love Baron Zemo. I think he's a smart villain. He's a charismatic villain. I like the fact that they're going to be bringing him back into it, and the whole USA agent thing. That's really cool too. So, and that's literally all I've watched this week. I've been so busy.
I watched part of Falcon and Winter Soldier today on my lunch break at work. I was surprised as long as it was because the WandaVisions were like 23 minutes long. This one was like 45, 50 minutes long. So I was really happy with that. There was a lot of hate coming out the end of that first episode of John Walker, Captain America. They thought he looked like that guy from Up. The way his helmet set on him was really weird. But I really do like Wyatt Russell, and I thought his character played out a little better than, of course, he got some more screen time and development in the character. So I thought it was really good. But definitely you see Kurt Russell, you hear Kurt Russell. I mean, easily. I mean, looks a lot like his dad. Same with like Scott Eastwood too. He looks a lot like his dad as well. Yeah. So it's almost like watching a younger Kurt Russell. Like, Kurt Russell's awesome. I like him. So let's give Wyatt a chance and see if he can play out that cool guy like his dad does. But do you think John Walker's going to end up being a villain in this?
It would be not in the first season. It won't be.
You think it's going to be for multiple seasons? This Falcon and Winter Soldier?
I think it will be a while. Yeah, it will be multiple seasons. This thing's going to be a hit. I think what's ultimately going to happen is, of course, Bucky and Sam are going to be like, okay, we just need to be friends with you. Build the trust, right? Because the best villains were always your friend, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's they're going to kind of follow that arc and develop that relationship, and they'll kind of see him as a Cap or whatever, and then like he'll do some Hell Hydra shit.
Yeah, probably. But definitely, the first episode had me kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. Yeah. But the second episode definitely brought some more
I
heat
love
to
the
it.
banter between Bucky and Sam. It's absolutely hilarious. The soul searching thing, that was just epically funny. I like it. It kind of reminds me of Lethal Weapon a little bit.
Oh yeah, the buddy cop thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackio says he's turning bad, no doubt. And Double S says, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But I don't think it's going to happen in the first season. Are you muted, or is that me? I can't tell if I'm muted. I don't think I'm muted. He's definitely muted. There's a little box. It has a little X through a little thing. It looks like a
Yeah, I'm back.
stand.
I'm back.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, my dang mic likes to do that. So I think my mic canceling out is a great segue into the first comic I have tonight that I'm going to talk about. I don't know if you picked it up. Haha number 4. Did you pick up Haha number 4? No. Oh no, that's right. Number 3. So on the front cover, you can see there's a mime. Guess what the story's about?
It's
a mime. It's pretty much silent. I'm not muted anymore, I don't think. So in this story, this is cover A, and I like this one better than the first one. So in the story, he's a struggling mime on the street performer trying to make money. His landlord, he owes the landlord money. All it is bad news all over the news. You know, it doesn't do any voices. I think it does like the little emojis. And the only thing that he really says or stuff like that is pew, 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 pew. And that's,
that took my line.
I don't think he says that, but he ended up going to this dump and finding this robot. And the robot mimics or mimes all his moves, right? So now all of a sudden this robot's with him on the street. They're performing together and he's making money. He's happy again. And they have their own little routine where the robot pretends to shoot him and pew pew when the mime pretends to die. But then the government comes and wants their robot back. They take the robot. And then now this mime's trying to break in this facility to save his new friend that's giving him this new lease on life. And he gets in there and he finds his robots being dismantled. And he's like almost in tears because of his friend. And he's trying to rescue him out of this facility. And he's surrounded by guards. And he pulls the finger guns up and goes pew pew, and the guards just blow the hell out of him and kill the mime. And he's laying there dying next to his new robot friend, and that's how this book ends. Like I said, that's about the extent of the speech bubbles in there. Pew pew or 75 ? Nothing really. Quick read for sure. I had somebody in the Discord on Janice Grown Up asked me how I was liking Haha. And, it's okay. I mean, it's I would say it's Black Mirror meets Clown World, pretty much. That's what it is.
Nice.
So, I mean, they're interesting. They can be, I think. It's going to be a hit or miss kind of series. But overall, I'm still enjoying it for what it is.
Like Jack.
I'm a mime. Yes, I'm a mime. I'm a mime. Yes, I'm a mime. What do you got, Joe, for us?
Let's start with the hot book this week. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's get it out of the way so we don't forget. Let's talk about Alien. Funny how this one's Alien and not Aliens. Anybody else catch that?
I didn't catch it, but yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah. So I picked up this beautiful 2 per store variant because the 1 per store variant was garbage. So I was able to get it's the normal cover with only black and white, right, with heavy shading. And then of course I picked up the Scotty Young cover for my wife. She collects Scotty Young covers. So first off, if you liked the movies, right, with the exception of the last one. If you like the movies for the most part, you'll love this comic book. There's no way you're going to like the movie and hate this because it starts off the same way the movies do. There's kind of this long burn in the beginning, and then all of a sudden, ultra-violent, heads getting blown off, shotgun blast to the chest. We got crazy, misguided youth out running around. We got a son that does emotional manipulation so he can steal from his father, his data card. Just so much stuff crammed into so few pages. And it was, at first it was kind of like, I don't care about this guy's retirement, but then, okay, that's important. Kind of tied it back in. Great writing, great stuff. Definitely, it's not my stash of the week. I'll give you that. Although Philip Johnson did do a good job, it's right up there with it. I absolutely loved this book. And I love that they brought back that robot dude. That was awesome.
Bishop. Yeah. And he came back in two different parts too. So he was in the main story. He's like his therapist on that ship. Or no, he's on a ship. That's right. And he was saying, "Hey, can you transfer all this information down to the bishop on Earth, and I can continue my therapy or retirement discussion?" But that bishop has like a different personality or a different take on life, or
he's a little softer spoken than the one up in space, right? Because you got to think about, right? He's Space Marine, veteran counselor versus the suburban wife counselor, right?
Yeah. Legion said, "Why aliens? Why should it be aliens?" I think at the end of the book, because there's more than one alien. It's not like it's one alien terrorizing the ship. It's multiple.
Now the question is, was the movie Alien or Aliens?
What are you talking about? The first one was Alien. Second one was Aliens. And then the third one was Aliens. Was it Aliens or Alien 3, the third one?
Right? I don't remember. I think I'm having one of those medulla oblongata effects.
At the first, when I was reading this, where it talks about the Space Marine never being home and wanting to spend time with his kid, he never was there. Very cats in the cradle kind of story. He's never there for his kid, so he never built this relationship. And his son has an absolute hatred for the company that he works for, this Wyland, I think that's the name of it, the company, because he thinks they're doing like bioterrorists or something like that. And they're the devil, and they need to break it down, break the system down. And that was kind of weird, but I mean, they're going to get their due coming up when they locked in that facility, and they got locked in with the other two scientists. And now the face huggers are going to be doing a lot of hugging, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little throat.
Oh, real quick, poor Mike just jumped into the room.
Oh, hey, poor Mike. I can't wait till poor Mike is Rich Mike, though. I really can't wait till he's Rich Mike.
A lot of people seem to be under the impression that it was Alien, no S, even though there should have been an S because there was multiples in all of them, from facehuggers to everything. But for some reason, I keep thinking in my head, and again, it could be that, the Jeffy peanut butter thing, I guess. I keep thinking it was Aliens. Or maybe I'm just forcing the S. I'm not sure.
On the first one?
On all of them. I thought they all had an S.
No. The first one was Alien because it only dealt with one alien.
No, it dealt with two.
No, it dealt with one. The face hugger. The face hugger.
Alien. Right.
Yeah, but I mean, they're only dealing with one of whatever that is. That they're called xenomorph. Xenomorph. Yeah. Legion says Aliens was the second movie. That's the one with Bill Paxton. No way, man. No way.
Good one. I'm not supposed to be here.
Yeah, man. We're totally screwed, man.
Great book.
Jackio says Wayland they're always up to no good. Yep, xenomorphs. And poor Mike says, "Me too." When we're talking about can't wait till he's the Rich Mike. But what we're going to be able to do when he becomes Rich Mike, we're going to be here from the beginning. He's going to remember us, and he's going to throw a little cheddar our ways. I think if he becomes Rich Mike. So
join now. You can be a sponsor of the show, tier 1, 2, or 3. Call today.
Yeah. Let's talk about. Let's see here. I didn't really have a whole lot this week. I bet you it's another book that you didn't read. This was actually, I think, supposed to be out last week, and I picked up this week. This is called Vietnam Horror #1. Cool, like kind of patriotic cover, typical Vietnam War thing. It kind of reminds me of Weird War Tales. Remember DC had those out for, I don't know how big that run was. Had to do with war and it's with monsters and stuff like that. So, in the story, there's a platoon or a, I don't know, but not a battalion, probably a platoon out. And this one guy is talking about this dream he had where he's getting chased by the shadows. And he keeps running from the shadows. Even he's more scared of the shadows than the Viet Cong that are out there in the jungle. And then he comes on this beach where it smells like dead fish and there are dead crabs everywhere. But that doesn't bother him. He runs through the beach until he gets to the water, and he jumps in the water and he disintegrates. And that's kind of when he wakes up, and he says that he pees himself every single time. So, and as he's telling the story, he finishes. The guy he's talking to in his platoon, he's like, dude, I had that same story the other night. Maybe we should talk to our commander about this. And like, no, they're not going to believe us. There's no way. And then the platoon gets attacked, and a couple guys get drug off down into the Vietnamese tunnels and stuff like that. They're at the base of the mountain, and one guy falls in a punji trap, and gets stabbed through the leg and all that fun stuff. But the guy was talking about running on the beach that smell like dead fish and dead crabs everywhere. All I can think of, maybe he's having flashbacks of that whorehouse he went to in Saigon. Who knows? I mean, dead fish and dead crabs? Yeah, man, that sounds like a whorehouse.
That's a party.
Yeah, this is actually a 4-issue miniseries. Am I going to pick up issue 2? Probably not. This is just kind of like, if you really love Weird War Tales, like I was saying before, I think it's a book you probably would dig. And Vietnam books and Vietnam stories used to be really popular, back in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
I did say Vietnam whorehouse. Did I say Vietnam whore? Vietnamese? I don't know. But overall, I think I'd pass. I mean, it'd be kind of cool to finish up the story, because at the very end, too, the commander of this platoon, he has that same dream as well. So we don't know what's going on. What ghosts are out there in the jungle attacking him. But
everybody's having spooky dreams.
Yeah, spooky. I think of a dream. I brought this up to Steve, the owner of Rogue City Comics. For some reason, I had a dream the other night that so I saw the price of Batman's going up to $5.99 an issue.
Yeah.
So I was kind of irritated about that. I read it right before I went to bed, and then in my dream, I went and picked up the new Batman issue. Not only was it priced up to $5.99, it was half a book. So it was like half of this. That was the book. It was a new size of a comic book. It was half a book.
But you might need to take a break from the comic books for a while if you have nightmares.
Maybe. And then on top of that, apparently the new Immortal Hulk came out with it got released with an 8-foot kayak you could get with it. And I was trying to carry a kayak out of I don't have no clue, dude. Like I said, I have not been able to sleep very good, and that could have been part of it. Yeah. So I don't know if Immortal Hulk's actually giving away a free kayak if you pick up the next issue. But I asked Steve just to make sure, and he said no, not that he knew of. So come down to Rogue City Comics, get your Immortal Hulk, get your free kayak. But Double said, "Oh, I heard him right this time."
Talking about the whorehouse.
I don't think $5.99 twice a month. I think maybe going back to once. I really hope it's just once a month. Really, I mean, and I don't remember the page count either. If it's going to just be a standard 32 or 28 page comic. Oh, or maybe he's taking a statement of saying it's twice a month. Wow. Poor Mike says, sounds like a melatonin dream. It could have been. I know I haven't taken Ambien in years, so I know it's not the Ambien. So.
Well, I want to.
What do you got next, Joe?
I want to talk about Strange Academy #1. I mean,
oh yeah, Strange Academy. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Teen Titans. Teen Titans Academy number. I'm sorry. As much as I want to say that, it's actually nothing like Strange Academy. I mean, besides the dichotomy of youth being crammed together from different places and having to find it. They're a much bigger school apparently than the Strange Academy because there's a lot of kids in this story. I like this. You got the edgy poor kids from Gotham in here, right? And you got the different social and economic classes running through here. We got one kid, and Red X is a big deal in this one, and Nightwing's trying to play it off, even though somebody's playing games with the Nightwing hologram showing, or the Red X hologram showing up in one of the training simulators. And Nightwing and everybody's kind of taking it on the cheek, like, somebody knows, okay, whatever. The story keeps wanting us to look at this one blonde-headed kid as the X character. I don't think it's him. I think it's somebody else in the story. I think he's going to have a whole nother arc. I forget what the kid's name is. Little blonde-headed boy. It's always wants to be by himself. I don't think that's just too obvious. I do like the fact that the two fat kids in here are probably the worst superheroes of all time. Like
Roundhouse and
Boy, whatever. Like one fat kid could change into a ball, and the other fat kid changes into a tube. Like, I don't even know.
Not just ball, but big balls. He said,
"Yeah, right." He makes sure he emphasizes that. So that was fun. What else happened in this book? I like that we're taking the Teen Titans, and we're not calling them Teen Titans. They're the teachers now. They're teacher Titans, if you will. And I like how they took the X-Men philosophy from this, where the adults are teachers, the upperclassmen is like your action team, and then these freshman kids, right? They got to learn everything. So everybody kind of hangs out in this commune and kind of hangs out together and learns from each other. So all in all, it was good. I liked the banner in it. It's a funny story. I'll be picking up some more of this.
Yeah, I'll probably pick up the next few issues, but it is no Strange Academy, though. I'll tell you that. It's the redheaded stepchild of Strange Academy. DC trying to pull that stuff, and it's not quite hitting on all cylinders for me.
It's the GoBots.
It is. It's the GoBots.
The GoBot story.
It just didn't have the same charm for me. It didn't have the same flow. Didn't have the same the storytelling just seemed like it was a little more choppy, like it wasn't as smooth. But it was okay. They probably have so many variant covers for this that a whole bunch of new appearances or new first appearances I guess should have in this book. Doesn't mean it's going to be worth anything, but definitely not a Strange Academy. It's a sort of stash, so I'll end up picking up next few to see how it goes out, and I'm not sure if I'm digging the whole Red X storyline. Dick seemed a little. I don't know. His character wasn't hitting for me though. It seemed like he was kind of off a little.
It was very bland. It was a very bland.
Yeah. It was just kind of like
not really a whole lot going on there.
Yeah. It wasn't very engaging. It didn't feel like what didn't. So I don't know. We'll see how it happens and how it flows. But overall, it's kind of like
it wasn't a Children of Adam story, so that's good.
No, that's true. Legion said they should have just called it Teen Titans.
Yeah.
Titans was an okay read for me, mainly because the two weird fat kids, as I said, okay read for me. I might pick up issue 2. He like big balls and tubes. I wonder if they're going to do if they're going to team up. If they're going to team up and 2 big balls and a big tube right in the center. Let's see if that happens. If that happens, that'll be a stash for me, and I'll continue to pick it up just for the big balls and tubes.
That will be the issue that will be worth the most amount of cash in 10 years.
Yep. For sure. Where I'm missing a book. Where is it? Did I leave it on my? Did I leave it back here? Where is it? Let me look for it real quick. Give me a second.
Yeah, sure. We're just all hanging out.
Yeah, just all hanging out, talking comics.
Looking at you.
Oh, there it is, right there. Okay. I'll talk about this first. Carnage, Black, White, and Blood. Sorry, I want to hold off on that because that was actually my pick of the week. Not this one for sure. Just like Batman, Black and White. Wolverine, Red and Blood, or Black and Blood, or whatever. Just a whole bunch of what?
Black and Blood. I like it.
Whatever it is, I don't remember what it is called. Awesome. Just a whole bunch of short stories. Nothing really grabbed me in this whole thing. I read through all of them. The last one was kind of interesting. It was kind of like the what do they call those? The books where he says, "Make this decision. Go to page 32. Choose your own adventure book."
Games.
Yeah. So that last story was a choose your adventure, or like you roll a dice. That's what it was. You roll a dice. If you roll below a 10, you go to this page. You go that. Yeah, I picked up the Gleason cover just because of Spider-Man 55. That was such a hot book. But the thing is, I was talking to Steve at the comic store. Is like, that's what they'll do. They'll go, hey, that cover was hot. That Spider-Man 55 was hot. Let's get Gleason to do all of those. Let's him get to do a Man Thing. We'll get him to do a Venom. We'll get him to do a, it's like, come on, dude. It's not like it can lose its appeal pretty quick. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to be picking this. Like Batman Black and White. It's like this kind of like whatever. Every once in a while, there might be a story that's good. The art's great, but overall, it's crap. I may have ordered book 2, but I don't think I'm going to be picking up anything more than that for sure.
Yeah, I picked that up, and I got this 1 in 25 variant with high hopes, and then I started looking at this a little bit more, and this looks like the center of a tramp stamp.
Center of a what?
Tramp stamp.
Tramp stamp. How do you see that?
The tattoo on the.
Well, I know what a tramp stamp is. Yeah.
Okay. Kind of looks like a little heart with a red circle around it or something. Stupid. And to go along with stupid, I hated that thing at the end. I thought it was stupid. If you actually played the game or paying attention to the rules of the game, you would have saw that you would have lost either way. You would have never have had the good opportunity because you eat up too much willpower to try to do all the things that it wanted you to do. You would have lost anyway.
Well,
that was the whole point.
One story, he walked away from the cops. He was the kind of the good guy, and one he was a bad guy, though, right?
If you X'd this, and then it took away so much willpower, and once your willpower was gone, you automatically went to go back and read the rules of the game as you're going through it, and just run it down with a pencil and piece of paper, and you're going to find out that there's no way with a 6-headed die you would have won that game. That's the whole point, right? Carnage is a bad guy.
Yeah.
And then I sat there and read, of course, the other ending and the other alternatives to it, and I was like, okay, I see what they're okay. That's whatever. I did like the Western one. I thought that was good. Cowboys are.
I can see that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. That was okay. First one, I thought it was interesting that crazy always finds love. Crazy always finds crazy love, right? Honestly, that should just be the montage of every human being out there, just to find somebody who you're crazy and they're crazy, can jive, and then you'll grow happy forever. So that was a love story. All in all, this thing was like most anthologies with just a bunch of same characters, different stories, different scenarios. And unfortunately, it was a whiskey dick issue for me. It was I spent money on it. I read it.
There
and
it
I'm
is.
going to forget it.
There it is. Now, tell me, do you read comics? Do you ever hear voices when you read comics? Like you see somebody, you hear like an actor's voice.
Yeah.
When you read it. I heard Sam Elliott in that Western one.
You know what? I didn't hear Sam Elliott. It's funny you should say that, though. I actually got Christopher Sutherland, Young Boys.
Christopher Sutherland.
From Young Guns.
The old guy. He's the old guy right now, right?
He is now.
Kiefer Sutherland's?
Yeah,
Dad?
That's what I'm talking about.
Kiefer Sutherland. Okay, yeah.
For some reason, I kept hearing his voice. I don't know why. It was weird.
You guys see the size of that chicken? Yeah. And Mike would probably hate this because it's essentially a black and white book, and Mike doesn't like black and white books.
No, he does not. Kiefer, yes. I don't know why I said the other one, but yeah, Kiefer.
With a K, not a Q, with a K. Just so Double S knows that. We said Kiefer with a K. Not Queefer.
Not Queefer.
Because he seems to always mishear everything. And he'll be in the chat saying, oh, them boys, them Blastin boys, we're talking about Queefers. What do you got for us?
Oh, it's my turn. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I want to talk about another DC book. I really enjoyed this. It was Batman and Superman. I really liked what they did in here. I thought this was smart. I like how they told you in the beginning that you can follow. They kind of did the old school cheesy thing they did in Golden Age comics and in Silver Age comics, where the narrator was giving you a genuinely opener in a story, right? Where it sounded more like an average, like a barker at a carnival, like come up, step one, it was great. And kind of told you could follow either one of these stories, right? The truth is you couldn't. But I like where it ended up. I'm not a big fan of the ending. I thought the ending was stupid, but I really like this whole we're going to swap reality, swap different people, like Lois Lane with Spider Woman in this one, her first appearance. Come to find out, it's Lois Lane in this particular universe. And then Superman's universe, Martha Wayne is still alive, and apparently she might be a villain. And Alfred was really Bane, and like it just got crazy weird, right? And then at the end, come to find out, some satellite is wrapped up in like video film, which you saw through the storyline, it kind of waving through there. So I'm sure that plays into reality or something. And some alien force, and there's Batman, Superman trying to figure out what's going on. So I was like, oh, that's kind of a cheap ending, but okay. But it makes me want to jump on board, and hopefully I'll get some more of that goodness in there. I like it when they do this kind of stuff. Well, I shouldn't say I like it all the time when they do it. They just did a good job in this one. Also, I thought, as I cheat and look at my notes real quick, because I forgot what I was going to say. Gene Young wrote this. And again, a lot of these new artists that are coming up, like Ram V and Gene Young and even Philip Johnson, these guys are really kind of stepping up and telling good stories. Not like, Children of Adam. That's going to be my joke this year. Remember the entire year where I made fun of Wonder Twins? Going to be Children of Adam for 2021. So yeah, good. Definitely loved it.
Yeah, of course. Double S said, "What did I hear, Queefer?" We knew it. We knew it. Maybe it was prompted too much. Maybe we softballed that to him, and he just went with it. I think so. That was a softball. It's like having notes at a press conference. Oh, sorry. What's going on? Let's go to Harley Quinn #1. This is like, I guess, after Future State. I guess that's what this is taking place now. I picked up I think it's a Derek Chew variant. Did you pick up that? I picked up that one. That is my meat potato. Since Mike's not here, my meat potato pick of the week is Derek Chew. Yeah. Or someone, Steve was talking about how her back is broken. Look how far her butt's sticking out. How he drew that character.
Yeah, right.
The art, I can't stand this art in here. I do not like this artist. Ugh, drives me nuts. So the whole time in the story too, like hearing characters, was talking about before, I heard Dietrich Badger. I think he played the voice of Batman in a cartoon. He's from Drew Carey show. He's one of his friends, the dark-haired guy. So I think he played Batman, and I kept hearing his voice in there because it was more of a, not necessarily a cartoony Batman, but not necessarily serious dark Batman that we kind of know from Detective Comics now.
Batman,
yeah, definitely. But Harley Quinn figured out, she's trying to make amends to all these people she's wronged over the years. She made a gluten-free cake for Killer Croc, and Killer Croc attacked her. Batman's coming saying, "Hey, you got to quit doing this," and she says, "Well, I want to be able to help people." So now she's helping people, but being a psychiatrist and getting the dude with the funky ass, dumbass neck tattoo. That was freaking so stupid. To get on her side and talk to him about, how she lived with the Joker for so many years and abused, and she's able to get away from it. So you can get away from it too, just by listening to me and following my guidelines on how to be a psychiatrist. Of course, Batman's right. You don't have your license anymore. You can't practice.
Your license. Multiple felonies. That's not happening.
But she did her time on the Suicide Squad, and so she earned good behavior. So I guess that's why she's back out on the streets, right? Even the reveal at the end with Hugo Strange wasn't like, "Oh man, that's so awesome." It just kind of went, meh.
Oh look, another therapist.
Yeah. Maybe be a little more like Sigmund Freud and talk about how she has mommy issues and wants to touch her genitals. I don't
Well,
know.
don't you worry. I'll take care of that when it's my turn.
Is it going to be your philosophy book too?
No, we're not going to dive into philosophy. We will talk about basic counseling, though.
No. But the only reason I would pick up any more of Harley Quinn is if I had cool covers like that. That's going to be it. It's going to be a strict cover by, just like my Catwoman, just like my Wonder Woman, just like my Harley Quinn. So because I never do like them, I just like the covers. You know, my dad always used to say, "I buy you books, keep buying you books, and all you do is eat the damn covers." So, kind of a little homage to him a little bit. What do you got? Well, what do you got for the psychiatrist known as Harley Quinn running around the streets?
All right, I don't know what it is, and every book we get now, we're constantly reminded that she was a therapist. So if I can get everybody's participation, if you're watching the show right now and you got a keyboard, will you please type in the chat box, Harley Quinn is a therapist, just so we can get it out of the way in case there's somebody in the world that doesn't know, because every time she's in a story, we're reminded of it. She's no longer a therapist. I'm sorry. And also, before people start getting out of the, well, she's just trying to help people. Crazy can't fix crazy. It doesn't work like that.
But crazy can find crazy for love.
Crazy can find crazy all day long. Crazy can hang out with crazy all day long. But crazy can't fix crazy. Now, I know somebody's going to say something to the effect, or they're thinking, well, what about like group therapy? You know, like group therapy is a thing, right? Well, the whole reason why you have a normal person in group therapy is a thing called cognitive behavioral therapy, right? Where basically you're teaching people that, yeah, you may be crazy, but you don't have to act out crazy. Like you can just act normal and we'll play the tape through type scenario, right? When you're working in these kind of situations. And I don't know what it is about people that are obviously insane constantly wanting to help other people. Like, I'm a member of several organizations. I go to meetings all the time for the American Legion, VFW, Sonic Life, right? And there's that poor guy that has a crazy wife, and she's running around drunk trying to, be everybody's therapist about how they need to change their future and blah, 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 or whatever. Every organization has that crazy old bird. To me, that's Harley Quinn. Like that's Harley Quinn running around drunk, telling everybody how they need to live their life and how to be better, and she can't sleep. She's popping 8 pills a freaking day, and she's ADD as all get out. So yeah. But the book was okay.
Legion says, "Tell that to Luther." And Jackio said, "Buying bad comics for the covers is the DC model." I can see that. Definitely see that. Oh, my voice is cracked. Oh, this puberty stuff's killing me. You're up. I brought up Harley Quinn. What do you got, man?
You did. Let's go back over to Marvel real quick. I want to talk about something. Let's talk about this amazing Spider-Man. 1 in 10. All right. So, new suit. Okay. And the only reason why I got Amazing, I was going to stop picking up Amazing Spider-Man. I really was. But a couple of people I knew in the comic book community swore up and down something exciting was going to happen in this issue. So, screw you guys for lying to me. Being wrong. There's nothing interesting. We're back to that story with Boomerang and that stupid animal Goog, the lizard
His
dog.
pet.
Yeah, the pet. Right? And it got angry and climbed up a building, and Wilson Fisk planned it all. They've made this comic book into such a comedy at this point. It's not even a good comedy. It's like, oh, okay. Well, good job. It's so mediocre at this point. It's not even worth it. Like, it's predictable, and it's just run of the mill, and it's just not interesting to me. And this is Amazing Spider-Man. And hey, It wouldn't be a Spider-Man story if we didn't randomly throw Kindred in there, because God knows we've been fishing that character for the last year, and it turned out to be somebody we knew anyway. Thanks, thanks, thank you for that. You horrible, horrible people. So yeah.
I think I have 61. I didn't read it, but what is this suit supposed to give him powers wise?
I have no idea. I skipped 61 because I didn't care about a suit.
And I call BS that Bullseye went to go shoot that Grog character and
shot the collar
missed.
off and just shoot the thing through the neck.
Come on, man.
Like, I get he's super duper hits the bullseye every time, but a bullet goes through things. Like, how did that? It's like, whatever, man. Screw you.
Maybe it's vibranium. Maybe it just hit it and bounced off and knocked it loose.
Shade.
And does it grow? Does it grow? I mean, how did Spider-Man get it wrapped around his neck again? Because he was so big.
I'll tell you exactly how. Because you, me, and the rest of the people that read comic books are so stupid that you can explain it with I got to reprogram this in mid-flight. He literally said that. And I'm like,
oh, did he? Okay, I don't remember that.
I'm like, what the fuck are you reprogramming? Like, how does this thing reprogram?
I thought it might have been like the ring from Lord of the Rings, how it changes sizes depending on the user that's wearing it. I thought maybe that's what it's doing. Legion's out of here. It's all right to head out. Everyone should go read Batman Superman 16. Fantastic issue. Till next time, guys, we are Legion. Thanks, guys, for popping in here. We always appreciate it. Sure, we got 7 people watching and 7 thumbs up. So thank you for those thumbs up. Thank
you, guys. Appreciate it. Love having you.
Appreciate it. We're zipping right along without Mike giving his short reviews like, yeah, that was great. Oh, yeah, that sucked. I think about a book that sucked. I was really looking forward to this because I'm a huge fan of the TV show. Loved the movie Serenity. Firefly. A brand new verse. So this has no Mal. This has no Mal in it at all. To me, Mal is Firefly. Now, I don't think I've read maybe one other Firefly comic. I don't know where Mal is in this story or where he is in Firefly at all. But it's just, what's her name? Damn it. It's
love interest. Because what was it last year? They did the relaunch of it in the comic books and had tons of variants in it. I want to say 2019-ish, 2020,
maybe.
Because I bought some of them and read them, and they had Mal in there. And I was like,
Washburn. That was the guy who died in Serenity. That was Alan Tudyk that played that character. This is his wife and their daughter. So his wife's a captain now. Her daughter works on the ship, and she has a love interest that's on the ship too. You know, she's kind of a cross between her dad and her. She's wearing the Hawaiian shirts like he did. Forced diversity. It really is. I mean, they took all. There's like nobody. I don't think there's anybody white in this whole book at all. They're all so. I'm not represented in this book, and I feel underappreciated. So this is a blast for me.
If you want to be represented in a book, you're going to have to read Star Wars with Chewbacca in it.
Ouch! Ouch! He went there, or a Game of Thrones with Hodor. So brand new verse. I mean, if you're a huge, absolutely fandom of Firefly and Serenity and that whole universe, you might actually dig this. But man, this just did not chime right for me because the reason I love Firefly was because of Mal and his attitude, his personality, and that's what made that show fun. And there's none of that here, and so unfortunately, it's a blasphemy. It's a blasphemy. Love Buffy and Angel was there day one, but Firefly bored me to tears. Serenity was okay. Well, you know. We all can't be great, Jacko. What can I say? What do you got, Joe?
Let's hit up this Detective Comics. I know you read this.
Oh yeah, that's one I had to grab from back there, but I didn't want to talk about it yet because that's my pick of the week.
Oh yeah, mine too. Yeah, no doubt. This was stupid awesome. So what happens when we take Bruce Wayne and we make him? I'm gonna go ahead and say he's upper middle class. Like he's not a billionaire, but let's just say he has a pretty healthy 401k and he's living in a gentrified neighborhood of a bunch of intellectuals in townhouses along it. I swear this looks like an area of Norfolk, Virginia, where like you're either a professor, a writer, a high-end artist, you're like that level of person, and you all hang out, a bunch of intellectuals that hang out together, sip wine on each other's patios, and compliment each other all night long. And Bruce Wayne's sitting there like, I really don't want to be here. He's the rich guy that's shunned from richness, and like, but his thinking is blue collar, right? Because he's out fighting criminals all the time. I love this idea of building little caches all throughout Gotham. The mini, and I love the fact that they explained how he's going to be able to get away with it. Instead, just assuming you can dig in a sewer and nobody's going to figure it out. I like this. This is smartly written. I love the way the setup for this is going. It's just all around just good writing. Like you don't have any questions. It's neat, it's bundled, and it's delivered to you. And it's delivered to you at a pace where you don't have to think about it too hard. Just enjoy it. And that's the great thing about Detective Comics right now. And now the Robin story at the end, I don't think I've ever read a solo Robin story or Nightwing or anything like that. I've just not something I'm interested in, but I may have to make an exception because I am intrigued by this one. By this, Damian, as I like him as a Robin, but if it breaks, I think the solo comes out in April. I might check that out.
Yeah, it doesn't. April. It says coming April right here. I'm looking at the page. Yeah, this was great. Bruce Wayne's at that fundraiser, and it wasn't like his family has had that seat all along, so it's like he didn't buy the plate or whatever it was. It was just like almost like, you're Wayne, so you automatically get to come,
Yeah.
And then the Jokers, with the I don't know what kind of mask they're wearing and the suit stuff they break in, going to take over. Of course, the mayor's there too, wants to get rid of all masks. He's at that fundraiser for him. And, Batman's the one that comes in and saves everybody. They're waiting for the SWAT, I think, to come in. They're like, no, it's already taken care of. Batman took care of it. So, and the whole part of making him, and like you hit the nail on the head for me too, when I was really like, dude, you can't build shit in the sewer. They're going to find him. They're going to find it. And then like the next panel, they explained why that was going to work. I thought, okay, good. You just had a good question and you answered it for me. I appreciate that. I do like the fact that he has to do all this manual labor himself and stuff that he's not necessarily used to. I mean, the dude still must work out 6 hours a day. I mean, to keep the physique up for sure, but he talks about how difficult that is to actually do that. And it's going to take him time in order to do that. It's not just something that's going to be done overnight. Not like he has a big bat cave with what he said, like 24 planes or whatever in there.
I like this because we're seeing a Batman that we don't really get to see a whole lot. We get to see a tired man. Like he was, like the artwork is perfect for this because you could just see that sorrow and just pain that he's going through, just digging. Like digging's hard. Like there's no doubt about that. Trying to carve out a tunnel it cannot be easy. And I don't know why. I think I'm very intrigued by this.
Yep. It's just kind of, he has to whatever he really wants, he has to work for it more rather than just throwing his millions of dollars at it. He has to actually put the hours in and do some physical work. Be one little layman. And the Robin backup story, the second part of that was great. I'm really looking forward to this. I like Damian in Super Sons. I like him as a character. He's kind of an asshole a little bit, arrogant, egotistical a little bit maybe. But I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a fun story because he's playing that balance between, am I Wayne or am I the leader of
the Demon Head?
Demon Head, yeah. Yeah. So, and his mother's telling him to make that choice, but she knows that she can't really control him either. She knows he's going to kind of do his own thing, but she's hoping he's going to lean one way or the other.
All right, did you figure out who the guy that they were for the Mortal Kombat competition? Have you figured out who the guy was that won that fight? Because I have no idea.
That was Oliver, Green Arrow's son.
What?
Yeah, Green Arrow's son. Yeah, a Hawk. Yeah, that's Green Arrow's son.
Because I was thinking like Hawk and Dove, but I was like, that wouldn't make any sense. Like I didn't know Oliver Queen had a son named Hawk. Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And Detective Comics, please. Who was it? Who wrote this? It wasn't. Oh man. I was going to say Ta-Nehisi Coates. That's not him. That's a shit book. That's Captain America. I heard that they hired him to write a Superman movie. I'm like, fine, great. As long as you get off Captain America, I'll be happy with that. You can write Superman all you want because I don't like that character. So please give me my Cap back. Give me the patriotic Cap back. I don't want this Cap that thinks America is this horrible place.
I'll never forget the first thumbs down that I ever got on YouTube. And I was kind of surprised because I was kind of joking but being serious. But I was really invested in getting all that Captain America stuff when it first came out. Like I bought a bunch of the covers. And then I started reading the story. And then it started going downhill. And I think of one of my intro videos before I threw up the intro thing. I was like, I'm going to write a letter to Connelly Coates. And I was like, dear... whatever the hell your first name is, Coates. And I spit on the paper and put it in the novel.
Yeah.
They lost their mind on me on that one.
Yeah, poor Mike, you definitely Detective Comics is better than Batman main title right now for sure. I think it's probably the best Bat book that we have out.
And now it's a great time to jump on too. Like Future State gave some of the ghost up on it, but now's a great time to jump on it before it gets out of hand.
It was Tomasi was, I think, writing it before. Was it Tomasi? Because Tomasi's... I thought it was Tomasi.
It was Tomasi. Yeah, Tomasi. Tomasi.
He's doing that Future or Super Sons again, so I'm looking forward to that. So
he's a good writer. He's writing.
Batman Black and White #4. I kind of gave up a little bit when I was talking about that Carnage book. Yeah. Meh. Nothing ever really. I think. They have some cool covers, and it's a lot to read because there's not a whole lot of. I don't think there's a whole lot of ads in here either. The only thing I could say that's a plus about this, it gives potentially other writers or artists the opportunity to write Batman and kind of see what their flavor is for it, to see if maybe that person would be a good person to maybe take the mantle either on art or story on a future Batman title. I think that's kind of cool to be able to give that a chance for other people to play around with that in that sandbox of Batman and that universe. So, he says Coach Black Panther run is the best I've ever read. Not Cap though. I'm going to try it on Marvel Unlimited.
Yeah, that would be fair. Coach did do a good job in Black Panther. For that he did. Like I'm not saying Coach is a bad writer. I'm just saying he has a very narrow window that he can write in.
Poor Mike may be right. It may have been Tinian, not Tomasi.
Tomasi was on Batman. That's I was thinking that.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, we were close. We were in the same wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Somebody had called me. I don't know.
Stop picking us apart.
Yeah. Let me see. Do I know this person? You've called me a couple times. Don't leave a message. I can't call you back. So double S, if you're trying to call me, I'm not leaving. I'm not answering. You're up, Joe. What do you got? What else you got? I got one more book after this, and I'm done for the week.
Let's talk about a blast, and not because it's a bad story, because it's just a bad direction. Guardians of the Galaxy #12. So with such a limited pickup this week, and I have a budget that I spend, and I try to stay within that budget, both plus and minus, right? So I hadn't been on Guardians in a while, and so I knew they were in this story arc where they were battling like Zeus and the Olympian gods, like they were trying to do that. That's when they brought in that weird character, that the Marvel Boy character. Um,
Was that
so
the one that was non-binary?
yeah,
Oh
his
yeah, yeah, okay,
fingernails are hallucinogenics or something. It's
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
weird character, weirdest powers ever. Right? No judging, but weird. Um, so they ended the story arc the same way the Guardians of the Galaxy movie kind of sort of ended. They all held hands and wished really, really hard and shot a magical bullet into Zeus that sent him into some temporal dimensional loop forever so he can come back later. Because can't kill a god, right? And then Nova's there because why not? We'll shoehorn any character we can into the Guardians of the Galaxy team at this point. And they're like, the Kree show up and they're like, yeah, because of the way the galactic budget bullshit story things working, we can't have these rogue agencies and pay them the same way anymore. So Nova's like, well, I got a solution. So now the Guardians of the Galaxy are Nova Corps, or they got their own little space police station thing going on. And I'm sitting here thinking, and the Kree sat there, explained it the best. The super Kree guy goes, all these loose cannons, misfits, superhero guys, everybody running around. We just can't have that in space. So what are you going to do? You're going to make them government agencies, right? Like you're going to make them bureaucrats following the law and order and blah blah blah. Maybe a great comedy's about to happen. I don't know. Either way, I thought the ending was cheap for a huge story arc that it was supposed to be. But unfortunately, the ending in this one, it was a quick magical bullet. See what we did there?
Full of hopes and dreams and unicorns. It sounds like.
Yeah, it was bad. So super shortcut in this one. Over explanation and story arc. That's why I dropped it. And then all of a sudden it's like 4 panels. Done. I'm like, that's some magical writing right there. Good job, guy. Why did you take that shortcut? So yeah. What's going on, Double S? How you doing, boss? Marvel Boy has always been badass. Grant Moore's creation. Yeah, fair enough. But in this story, I would definitely check this out first. It's weird. He's just weird in this. It's no other way to describe it.
Sleepy Reader in here too, another fellow Oregonian. Thinking of Oregonian, Sleepy Reader lives up near Portland. I don't know where. Portland's a pretty big town. Pretty big town, you see. So I don't know what the hell's going there. You guys see the news about that part of a rocket that came down over Oregon last night? Like looked like a big comet burning up through the air. It was like, I guess, really visible up northern Oregon more so than down here. But
pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought somebody said the Chinese were attacking us, and who knows what was going on there.
The Chinese are coming to get us.
They're coming to get us. Take your AR-23s out. So my last book I got for this evening, and it's the last one of this miniseries, and it's Harley Quinn, Batman White Knight, number 6. He says, "Oh damn, I missed that." Go over there, go to YouTube and say, too busy looking at his feet.
Bombs over Oregon.
Yeah, you can see Comet over Oregon or whatever, and it'll pop up, and it was pretty amazing, actually. So this story wrapped up. The Murphy universe he's created for Batman, I've actually liked it pretty good. It's been a pretty good series. This one has been a little bit meh. The first one definitely was by far the best. Second was kind of, but I think this actually beats out that second Batman Murphy run stuff. Cool thing about this, so Harley Quinn's all over the place, depending on which story you're reading and what she's doing.
But she's a therapist.
Well, this one, well, I guess so. She is an expert, and she actually worked for Gotham PD in this storyline. So they gave her a badge, and she's actually working this case with the mistress who's killing people. And like there were a couple other the DC Black books that came out. One where she was this expert uh, person that could figure out who the serial killer was based off of what they're doing, psychology, essentially, trying to figure out the psychology of the killer. So she's all over the place depending on who's writing it and what universe, I guess, maybe you're looking at. But in this one, she gives back her badge because they tell her she can't go in because she's too connected. She has too much of an emotional connection to this case, and she's not going to be able to, go forward with it objectively and do it. So she turned her badge in. She's going to go to the theater anyhow. She runs into Batman. Batman gives her a new suit. It's like I think they call it the Neo Harley. It's all just kind of black and gray, but it's like bulletproof or knife proof. That chick is throwing knives at her. It's just like pink, just bouncing off and crap like that. And this page here, where she's talking about, oh yeah, are you going to stop with that tiny little hammer? So she has her hammer there on that top panel right over here, and she hits a button. It's like it's a present from Bats. And all of a sudden the handle starts extending out. This is this huge bat, a huge mallet. So overall, again, I like the Murphy universe stuff that he's doing. This wasn't my favorite one. Like, again, better than that second run on White Knight stuff. But it's over. I don't know if Murphy's planning on doing any more in this Batman universe or not, but we'll see. And I'll definitely pick up more of it if it comes out for sure. So. It's a whiskey dick. The whole series of whiskey. You can probably pick up the trade and get the gist of it and not have to worry about it. I'm not going to do all the graphic this time.
Well, I don't blame you. It's getting late.
That's my last book. We didn't do your segment yet.
I got Action Comics number 1029. Again, we're dealing with that sort of thought of, somebody getting to adulthood and realizing that their parents are just not as strong. But Dad's being a dad in this one, right? Superman's being Superman, and kind of reconfirming that, yes, you may know the future, but you don't know the exact future. You even said yourself that there was some missing data points or whatever. So we got Superman. He's not dying again anytime soon. Whatever.
So Superman's not dying anytime soon?
I guess. Once in future, this story arc's almost done. I don't think I'll be picking up any volume 2s of this, even though I did enjoy this. It's time to move on to something else. And this one, if I gave you a legitimate review of this book right now, you would be like, there's no way, because you constantly have to remind you of what happens in the story. So we have at least 4 different type of King Arthur stories going on, plus a Beowulf, and then the comic book story itself. It's impossible to review because it just won't make any sense. Just know we're getting to the climax of the story, and the damsel needs to be saved. The damsel's in distress, and we're going to write a dragon to go save her because dragons are cool. Like, that's good enough. There's your review of that one.
Is the damsel a guy?
No, it's actual.
That would be right up there. Right,
The only thing I picked up, and I did the Kickstarter for Berserker, and I did one of the higher level, so I'm getting like tons of shit. They send me emails with digital stuff all the time for it, yada yada yada. But I'm still buying the floppy so I can review them here. And then I saw some good '90s Flash cover, and I was like,
foil covers.
It's like, I need that. I don't know if that's going to be part of my starter package or not, but I want that, so I got the foil package.
Yeah, I passed on those.
Did you want to do a philosophy report, Ken? Are we done for tonight?
It's up to you. Do you have something going, or you want to pass on it?
Go over real quick. I don't think.
Okay, let me get the thing up here. There it is. Comic book philosophy with Bill Can.
All right, you wonderful weirdos. Tonight we're going to be talking about a kind of more modern type of philosophy known as Cosmicism. Cosmicism is used in comic books a lot, but it's not going to be used in the way that I explained because it's often misrepresented. But let's talk about it real quick. Basically, think H.P. Lovecraft in this whole thing, right? We're no different than the view of us is no different than your view of, let's say, ants, right? If an ant's there, it's a pest, you can kill it. If you see them walking, you barely notice them, even though they outnumber all life on this planet and somewhat sophisticated. The only people that are really interested in ants are people that study ants. And even then, they're nothing more than entertainment for these people for a long period of time. This is a brand of philosophy that's very well, there's always a bigger fish in the pond scenario, right? Or in the ocean. So anything and everything that we do is no different than if another cosmic being was watching ants, us being the ants in this scenario. So what does that mean? Well, I wanted to take this one to more of the being an expert in ants and studying ants. So let's look at characters like the Green Lantern guys. What are those guys called?
Which ones?
The guys that run the Green Lantern Corps. The Ancients.
No, I'm not sure. Yeah.
The blue guys, right? You got those. You got the Watchers. Like literally, you have the Watchers, right? Their job is to observe and watch, not to interfere. And constantly, when we see these characters in comic books, they're often like, "So what?" Like, so, who cares what these people do? Who cares what these primitive animals do? They are no different than the insects that they step on themselves. So, the whole philosophy is to remind you that you're insignificant and nothing you do really matters. And on a positive note,
even a YouTube show.
Your philosophy for a minute.
That's it?
That's it.
Comic book philosophy with Bill Can.
I was looking at the books that are coming out next week. There's not really a whole lot that I have on my pull list that I'm super excited about. I got Avengers, Curse of the Man-Thing #1, Batman, Catwoman #4, Beta Ray Bill #1, Courier #3, Crossover #5. That's just a cover by a Nuclear Family #2. I'm kind of interested in that. That was a good read from that. Yeah. Shadecraft #1. And then a Star Wars Insider book that I'm getting just because it's freaking Boba Fett on the cover. Another one of those, Oh my goodness, Drew Manchu. Hey, Half Squatch, he's in here. Drew Manchu. Hey, Drew. Which reminds me, we were watching Falcon and Winter Soldier. They were in your hometown today. They were in Baltimore, Maryland. Mm-hmm. I thought of Drew. I said, well, I wonder if Drew lived next to the neighbors to the house they went to. If Drew was peeking out the window, would he see Black Falcon or not? So I thought that was kind of weird. When they go, hey, it's Black Falcon. He goes, dude, I'm just Falcon. I'm not Black Falcon. Do I call you Black Kid? And he walked off. That was kind of cool.
That was kind of funny.
Do you know that street they were on there, Drew Manchu? I haven't heard from Drew in forever either. So, no, we talked about going to different cons, because I think maybe the con season is starting to ramp back up with the vaccination coming through and stuff starting to blossom and open up like a spring flower, hopefully. And con season is going to be on us again. So I know we've talked about a few different things, trying to do some cons, maybe next fall and stuff like that. I know that Baltimore Comic-Con is next fall. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's usually in October.
Is it October? Okay. I know we talked about that. You guys talked about coming out here or hitting somewhere in the middle. Who knows? But we're definitely looking to try to get to a con again. God, my voice is cracking. My half squatch voice is just not getting right. Of course, we missed Mike tonight. Well, we'll give him shit, and maybe I will make. Somebody has suggested doing a hashtag Where is Mike with the missing milk container. So I might do that. Might get that up on Facebook and just shame him a little bit more for not coming on tonight. So, anything else from you, Joe, before we bounce on out of here?
Nothing much. Going to be the Evil Lair project's almost done. The Wolverine claws that will make a little sparky spark. Those are almost done. So we'll probably be putting that video up. If I don't have it up this week, it'll be up. It's got to be up before April 1st because it's a 30-day project. So we'll get that done and up. And other than that, nope.
Said Mike isn't dead. He's at the titty bar. That's what you're saying. It could be. Could be sleeping on his couch, drinking of them and dreaming of them titty bars. Maybe he'll dream of getting a kayak from the next Immortal Hulk comic book stores near you. So, he's down. What you talking about? Oh, meeting at a con? If that's the case, cool. That'd be awesome to be able to meet you at a con and go hang out for the weekend. That'd definitely be a fun thing to do for sure. But I don't think we got anything else right now. I might go watch Invincible tonight. I probably end up watching Falcon and Winter Soldier second episode again with my wife because I watched it without her, or I got in trouble for watching.
Yeah,
Snyder Cut.
Got mad at me too. I was like,
okay. So that's it. I think whether you blasted or whether you stash, you happy reading, and we'll catch you guys next week.